The first question that we thought about was, how can technology and digital media shape identity? Drucker introduced us to the idea that technology helps develop an identity that is polyvocal and not composed of unique authoritarian voices. Because of this, one side effect of technology and digital media is the demise of the individual voice and originality. Rather than a disadvantage, however, Drucker sees this as a way for us to conceptualize our humanness. Turkle, who discusses a global project to re-envision medieval history without the constraints of disciplines and studies, said that the way we as individuals use technology indicates a need to control situations and our image. For example, technology shapes identity by allowing the user a space to edit and create his or her own version of himself or herself. It grants many of us a platform to present our created best selves, in addition to providing a false pretense of control. We have time to ponder, add filters, rephrase, edit what we post, and what we want people to see. This is not happening in real time, which limits real-time authentic responses. Turkle proposes that this might erode our ability to connect, converse, and reflect. Next, we wondered, how does the discussion of identity and the identity life cycle relate to creativity? Drucker discusses how the collaborative authorship process has been accelerated by digital technology. Attempting to capture a polyvocal experience removes direct scrutiny away from our personal situations and allows us to have rich experiences. But a downside is that these experiences become increasingly impersonal. As such, group mind and hive behaviors replace individual identity as collaborative and collective writing practices become the new norm. In fact, at times, individual communication doesn't seem to matter in mass communication. Individuals are focused on garnering an extensive number of replies and comments, for instance, to a social media post. Yet how many people are taking the time to read or process what has been posted? This type of work can hinder a mutual and continuous exchange of ideas and limit creativity. How are we being creative if we are merely composing a litany of thoughts without the responsibility of processing, analyzing, and synthesizing those ideas? Finally, we contemplated, how do identity and the identity life cycle relate to our areas of interest? We noticed that the authoritative texts used in schools have often had a narrow perspective, one that marginalizes many voices and historical specificities. As educators, we have to approach learning and teaching with an interdisciplinary and multi-perspective lens, realizing that the authoritative narratives can undermine students' ability to make connections, reflect, and reckon with the complexities presented by a more globalized experience. Non-traditional teaching and intense discussions can also help our classrooms develop a group and collective identity. By asking ourselves the question, who are we? We can address changing demographics, issues of race and social class, and how history, when viewed in a non-linear way, shows all the ways that we are interconnected, not all the ways we're separate. Especially in the current social climate, thinking about pedagogical ways to develop a collective identity where differences are celebrated and our inherent interconnectedness is the focus is essential for creating a more cohesive society. To engage with our presentation, we would like you to, instead of writing a response, sketch us your response. Check out the link in the discussion forum if you're unfamiliar with the concept of sketch notes. Our goal is to have you visually represent your response on paper, take a picture of it, and upload it to the discussion forum. Sketch notes are a new way for students to creatively organize their learning, so this might be an activity that you can use in your professional context as well. Please choose one of these prompts to respond to. A, to what extent has technology shaped your identity as an individual, as a learner, as an educator? B, what differences, if any, do you see in your adolescent or adult development when compared to this generation of adolescents? What role do you think technology has played in that? Or C, how has your own use of technology impacted your engagement with others or your creative process? Also, check out the other links in our post for more resources on these topics and expanded information about our readings. Thank you.